This is the first video of my American Adjunct lager rankings. So I'm going to take several American Adjunct lagers, some of the most well-known and famous ones, and compare them against each other in a round-robin type of contest, and tally up the amount of wins and losses each one has, and then rank them based on that. So for the first round, these four beers are going to go up against each other. We have Budweiser, which is rated at 57 on Beer Advocate, has 5% ABV. Busch from Anheuser-Busch has a rating of 52 on Beer Advocate and 4.3% ABV. Narragansett is a beer that maybe you might not have heard of. It's in Rhode Island, and this is the beer that Quint drank in the movie Jaws. I think it had a history where it went out of business for a while and then was brought back. I'm not sure. You'd have to look that up, and maybe I will put notes on the video to explain its history. Rolling Rock is a beer that I don't think that I've had before. It's a cheap beer, at least in my opinion. Rated at 62 on Beer Advocate and has 4.4% ABV. Did I mention Narragansett's rating? It was 77 on Beer Advocate. So this Narragansett is the highest rated beer of these four, and 5% ABV. So I've already poured the glasses and mixed them up. The glasses have been marked. So I don't know which is which, but I do know that this one is probably Budweiser because Budweiser poured with the most foam and it retained it. The foam's not necessarily going away. So that's going to give it away. I will probably know the Budweiser when I try it. So let's just hope that I'm not biased. But at least I probably won't know which beer Budweiser is being compared against. So I'm going to start over here. I have marks on the bottom of the glasses that correspond to the cans. But I have marks on these on the edge of the glasses here, so I know which one is being compared to which. So if this is number 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I will compare now 1 to 2, whatever this is against Budweiser. A sweet beer, not much hop finish to it. Very smooth. Not much mouthfeel and carbonation. It could stand to be a bit more carbonated, in my opinion, and it could stand to be more bitter in the end with hops. This one is stronger, has a fuller taste, has a better mouthfeel. It's sweet like this, but also has bitterness, which is a bit more noticeable. Between 1 and 2, I will give this to number 2. So it looks like Budweiser gets the first win against whatever number 1 is. Now let's try number 3. Now it tastes a lot like Budweiser, except maybe a bit more plain. The Budweiser has more, just a bit more maltiness, but I'm comparing it against this. This is generally a weak beer. This watery in comparison doesn't have much of a mouthfeel. This one has more bitterness, but it's kind of a stale bitterness. This one is just plain. But I don't really like this one too much. The overall flavor to it. I'll go with number 1 against number 3. Okay, now number 1 versus number 4 here. Okay, so this is similar to this. The flavor is not that great. It does have more of a stronger mouthfeel to it. Kind of got a bit of a tanginess to it. I like the feel of this one better, but I like the flavor of this one better. Has more bite. Although I'm not really crazy about the flavor. Probably have to go with number 1 on this. Because it just doesn't taste that great. So we're done with number 1. Now number 2, Budweiser versus number 3 here. Very similar in mouthfeel. Slightly stronger, but again, it's the flavor of this which isn't that great. I'll have to give this one to Budweiser. Going against number 3. Now Budweiser versus number 4. See, this, I think the flavor, the strength of this one isn't quite as much as this one. So the bad taste that this one has isn't quite as prominent as it is with this one. So this one is going to be more difficult to decide between it and Budweiser. Budweiser is just kind of plain. Doesn't really have much of a finish to it, at least compared to this. In comparison, the feel is watery. It's smooth, and it doesn't have much of a taste, doesn't have much of a bite. Compared to this one, it's watery. I think I prefer this one. So, Budweiser loses number 4. All right, now, let's try these two. These two I thought were similar in the flavor. This one being a bit stronger, I believe. It's got some strength of flavor in the finish. I would say none of these are really that hoppy, but there is some bitterness to them. But the bitterness doesn't have much of a taste to it. I think this one's easier. I think I'm leaning towards this one, but I'm not sure. Because this one is stronger. The flavor is very similar, at least at this point in the game, that I've drank in this much beer so far. I know, I think that I've got 4 packs of each of these, except this. This came in a 6-pack. And whichever these two are, I'm really not looking forward to drinking the rest of them. Or any of them, as a matter of fact, because none of these beers are that great, in my opinion. If you're thirsty, you're out drinking and maybe having dinner and having one of these beers with dinner might be a different story. But sitting here comparing these side by side to one another, none of them are that great. So we'll see. We'll see how this comes out. I would say this one's richer. I'm going to go with this one. All right, so let's identify the beers now. This is number 4, which is Rolling Rock. This is number 3, which is Narragansett. And of course, Budweiser here. So this is what we have. Here are the final tallies.